Home matters. Doing more than opening doors and putting signs in the yards, because your home matters, and so do you.
This episode of Home Matters is brought to you by Mary Gervais Brantley with Mortgages by MG, helping you get ready for your next move.
Thanks, Mary Gervais, for being here again today. You've been a lot of help. Question on the table. What are some unique ways of getting finances if you don't exactly fall into the more traditional methods?
Okay. That's a fantastic question. I mean, you are a prime example.
A self-employed people.
Self-employed person. So I think firstly, a traditional financing would be your conventional, your FHA, your USDA, your VA. How you qualify for that is your W-2. You can be self-employed. We use your tax returns, things like that. So let's say, hypothetically, you are a self-employed person and, we can't use your tax returns. There are some very cool products out there, specifically, namely, a bank statement loan. And so a bank statement loan is something that you've got to be in business for at least 2 years, but we can do a 12-month bank statement. So we grab your bank statements, whether they're business or personal, and average all the deposits that you've been receiving for the past 12 months. Average those out, and that's what we use for your income. So we don't have to include tax returns. So I think it sometimes can be a more accurate representation of how much money you're actually making. But it is a unique way to get financing if, let's say, your tax returns reflect maybe a much smaller adjusted gross income than what probably actually made. So that's super cool.
Now, with that comes there is a higher interest rate.
It is a riskier product. Absolutely. So it's going to have a slightly higher interest rate. So if today's market rate, let's say it's 6.5%, you'll probably be at a 7.5%, maybe 8%. Now, the alternative is, if you don't like that situation, you can go back and amend your taxes to the IRS. Which I don't think
anybody's going to take that option.
So at least, even if you do have a higher interest rate, every single month you are still paying your own principal. I mean, you're paying yourself back a little bit each month. So it is a higher of an interest rate. There are probably some more, some larger lender fees, but it's not anything, outside the realm of complete, just like utter, disbelief. So I think, with the bank statement, you do have to, we like to have a higher credit score. I think it's about a minimum of a 10% down. So it is an all-around more expensive product, but it is a solid solution for people who don't want to get their tax returns involved. So that applies for self-employed people, 1099. We've done tattoo artists, someone who owned a dog grooming business.
Where there might be tips involved.
Yes.
That weren't necessarily reported.
Which is
well, yeah, so that's all them. That's all them.
Absolutely. So there's that. Some other cool products out there are what we call a debt service coverage ratio. It's essentially a cash flow loan. So this is for investors. But, as long as the house appraises, and let's say that appraiser says that the rent schedule that would go along with that property says it's $2,000. You can make $2,000 a month by renting this property out. As long as your mortgage payment is under that, essentially, this is a very watered down, explanation, we'll write the loan. Again, it is going to be a 20% down. This is strictly for investors. You cannot live in the home, but it is a great avenue because it does not deal with your income. It doesn't deal with your employment. It is strictly based off whether or not the house, the property, the multi-unit property, whatever it may be, can cash flow.
Yeah.
So again, higher rate, more money down, but a really cool alternative product for investors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we also can do I-10 products. So let's say you have a client that's a non-permanent resident alien or permanent resident alien, things like that. So there are avenues for those clients as well to be able to purchase homes and things like that. So there's a lot of cool, interesting products. Gosh, I mean, they're probably coming out with a product every single day, as far as we all know about.
Right.
So, where there's a will and there's a way, I mean, there's typically some financing available.
Right. And so, how to say that? So when buyers think, gosh, I'll never be able to afford a house or whatever, there are ways to at least see if you can afford by these unique methods.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course, having said that, have some money in the bank. If you are going to have
It's an
money up front.
It's going to be more money out of your pocket.
Right. Oh, well, and these days with the way things are going, that's just about the case as it is. Anyway.
Yeah, kind of all around the table, you just kind of you've got to get some savings in the bank.
Right.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com. Building on what matters to you.